School committee meeting of Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Mrs. Pazerski, you can please call the roll.
Dargan here. Stetson here. Greer.
Here.
Costello.
Here.
Mrs. Brady.
Mrs. Braid unfortunately cannot be with us tonight. You can all please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very much. If you could also please join me, you know it, in the Peace Builders Pledge. I am a peace builder. I pledge to praise people, to give put downs, to see wise people, to notice and speak up about hurts I've caused, to right wrongs, to help others. I will build peace at home, at school, and in my community each day. Under the open meeting law, I'm informing the public that this meeting is being videotaped by Marshfield Community Media. Hi, Tyler.
Hey, John.
If anybody else is taping this meeting, either audio or video, please notify us of such at this time. Okay, seeing none, we have a quick reorganization at the beginning of our agenda that we are required to do via our policy. Before I do that, I just want to say a quick thank you to Mrs. Braid, who I know isn't here, for covering last meeting. I couldn't be here due to a work issue. And I also want to say to Mrs. Braid and Mr. Greer, congratulations on your re-election to this board. We look forward to working with you for another 3-year term. And I also want to say congratulations to our newly elected select board member, Trish Simpson, who's in the audience as well today. Congratulations to all of you. Okay, so the school committee reorganization will be very quick, folks. What we would need is a motion from the committee. Thank you, Mr. Greer. Motion to suspend Robert's rules has been made to declare Dr. Sullivan temporary chair of the school committee. Okay, good. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from either one of you. Take your pick, Mrs. Pazerski, and that's a roll call.
Dargan. Yes. Stetson. Yes. Greer.
Yes.
Costello.
Yes, thank you. Dr. Sullivan will ask for nominations for chair.
Yes, my pleasure. So as you know, we need nominations for chair, for vice chair, and for secretary.
Correct.
So I will start by taking nominations for the chair of the school committee. For the 25-26 school year. Second. Okay, we do roll call or just all?
Yes.
Yes. Roll call, Mrs. Pazerski?
Mrs. Dargan. Yes. Stetson. Yes. Greer.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. I'll take that back.
Okay.
Good work.
That's the easiest thing I've done all day.
I felt safe.
We will now take nominations for vice chairs. There are nominations on the floor. Laura Braid's been nominated. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Ms. Stetson. She's not even here, so she can't say no. Any other nominations? Seeing none, Ms. Pazerski, that's a roll call.
Dargan. Yes. Stetson. Yes. Greer.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Are there any nominations for secretary? Mr. Greer is nominated. Mrs. Dargan, is there a second?
Second. Yes.
Second from Ms. Stetson, and that's a roll call as well, Ms. Pazerski.
Dargan. Yes. Stetson. Yes. Greer.
Yes.
Costello.
Yes. Okay, is there a motion to reinstate Robert's Rules of Order to continue with the rest of the meeting business? So moved from Ms. Stetson. Is there a second? Second from Mrs. Dargan, and that's one more roll call, Ms. Pazerski.
Mrs. Dargan. Yes. Stetson. Yes. Greer.
Yes.
Costello.
Yes, thank you, folks. Quick and painless. We appreciate it. I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Sullivan, to introduce our spotlight on excellence.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out here from the Martinson community. Definitely brought the people, which is wonderful. And we have an amazing update today. I'm actually going to turn it over to Principal Cotreau to introduce the spotlight, but I'm very proud of the growth we've made in this area, and I'm so happy we have such a wonderful, diverse community that we're highlighting today. So I'll give this over to you, Principal Cotreau.
So we have had a really huge growth in our EL department, and over the past couple of years, we've really made some huge strides with our program, and we have some students that are going to highlight some of those things that we want to highlight them because they're so wonderful. So I'm actually going to turn this over to Alyssa Rogers, who's one of our EL teachers, and she's going to kind of give you a little overview of what you're about to see.
Hi, thank you. Yes, I'm Miss Rogers. I teach in the EL program here at Martinson along with Mrs. McDonald.
and our fabulous paramedic leader, who I think most of you know. And we created this slideshow, which is pretty self-explanatory. You'll hear the kids. I just wanted to go over that. You're going to hear from students at all different levels, kids who are just brand new here to the country, newcomers, up to those who have been here for many years. And we are celebrating all of our students for their tremendous growth this year, but in particular, 3 of our students have now graduated the program, and we're very excited to celebrate them. So if you want to go ahead and play the
English Language Development 2024-2025 by the amazing EL students. Let's celebrate!
Students from around the world: Mexico, Egypt, Brazil, Taiwan, El Salvador, India, Haiti. We have 49 English learners in our school, 160 families who speak another language at home, and a little over 120 EL students in the whole town.
ELL stands for English Language Learners. It refers to a student whose first language is not English.
Learning English or any new language can be challenging and overwhelming, but it's important to remember that it's a journey, not a race, and to focus on building a solid foundation through consistent effort and use the best strategies.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are all an essential part of learning and the learning process. If you encounter difficulties, don't hesitate and reach out to your teachers and celebrate your progress. Acknowledge your challenge and continue to persevere.
Let's meet some of our students. ELL stands twice.
My name's Manuela. I am in kindergarten. I was born in USA. My family is from Brazil. I am proud of myself because I can tie my shoes. And when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. My biggest birthday, I'm in kindergarten. I was born in USA. My family is from El Salvador. My favorite class is gym. When I grow up, I'm going to be a police officer and a teacher. My name is João Miguel. I am in first grade. I was born in Brazil. Thank you to all my teachers for help me learn my English. My name is Mari. I am in second grade. I was born in Brazil. My family is from Haiti. I am so proud of myself because I can speak 3 languages. I love to read and sing. When I grow up, I want to be a YouTuber. My name is Santiago. My name is Gabriel. We are from Mexico. My brother and I moved here last year, so I'm so proud of myself because I'm the best in English on my class in Mexico. I can count to 100 in English. My name's Nicole Almeida. I'm in 4th grade. I was born in the USA. My family was from Brazil. Being bilingual is very hard because sometimes I mix words in both languages. I also struggle with pronunciation, but I persevere, never give up, and complete my challenge. My name is Tom. I am in 3rd grade. I was born in Brazil. I'm so proud of myself because now I am bilingual, and when I grow up, I want to be a police officer.
My name is Bernardo Paz, and I am in 3rd grade. I was born in Brazil. When I first moved here, I didn't know a single word in English, but I kept trying and I had a lot of help to learn how to read, write, speak, and understand a new language.
My name is Sophia Martins. I am in 5th grade. I was born in Brazil. I am proud to be in a part of the Marshfield School District because my mother and I have received a lot of support from Daniel Epster and Martin and the Brazilian community in Marshfield. Thank you to all the teachers and staff who helped us grow this year. Your dedication and hard work have made a real difference in our learning. We appreciate your support and guidance.
Thank you.
So I think a lot of times it's better to hear it from the kids than from us. So I hope you got a little bit of a taste of what our students here do, what they're like, and how important they are to our community. Before we wrap this up, though, we have something very important that we need to do because you did get to see 3 students who are actually graduates of the program, of the EL program. They're huge leaders in our school, so I just want to recognize them. So they're going to walk the red carpet because they're going to show that they have graduated from our awesome program here. So, first up, we have Nicole Almeida. And next we have Laura Marquez. And last but not least, Bernardo Paz. So we are very, very proud of our students, and we have a couple that are very close, so you'll probably see a couple more next year that will be joining this crew.
Great job.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Nice job, friends.
It's good for you right in the picture with the guy from Sharp. Led you very nicely. Thank you, Principal Control.
You guys, can you come back for 1 second?
Yes,
Come back for
let's
a
do
picture.
it. Great. We thought the red carpet was for us.
We take one more picture.
Much more important.
Way more.
Yeah.
Very
You got it?
great. I love your caps. Did you decorate them? No, they were taking caps and they're it's okay, I'm a little bit.
Congratulations.
Your caps.
Congratulations.
Best yet to come. Your caps. Awesome. I love it.
Love it, love it. Love the hats. Wonderful job. Thanks, Principal Trout.
All right. Well, if that isn't the best start to a meeting we've had in a while, that is awesome. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Go ahead, Ms. Stetson.
Just one comment. Congratulations to you guys. I can't imagine the amount of work that you have to put into when you do all of your schoolwork and at the same time you're learning a completely new language. Like that is, I don't think any of the adults out here could probably do the same thing. So congratulations. We're so proud of you. Just fantastic job. And thank you to your teachers as well. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, awesome. All right, we're going to, we can move the informational to the end. If you like, we might as well. Let's move the informational to the end and get some folks up and out of here so you don't have to sit here the entire time. But I will have the student representative report now. Finn, how are we doing? Awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, there's two of you tonight. Yeah. Awesome. You guys want a mic?
You want to go up to the mic? That way they can get you on here.
It might not be on Kylie.
Hello. Oh, okay. My name's Kylie Zima. Yeah, I'll present the middle school first. So to start off, the book fair is back in FBMS starting tomorrow, May 28th, and going through Friday, May 30th. The book fair is an opportunity to purchase Scholastic approved books at a lesser cost, contributing to the FBMS library funds. The 8th grade field trip to Starland is scheduled for June 10th. Students will be allowed to spend the entire day at Starland's mini golf amusement park, turf, arcade, and indoor attractions. FBMS track did extremely well last week with a 4x400 boys win. Our final two meets are at the South Shore Middle School Championships held at the track on Tuesday, May 27th, and the Massachusetts Middle School Championships on Saturday, June 7th at Gardner High School. Last week, FBMS celebrated the annual Teacher Appreciation Week with teachers finding fun surprises in their mailboxes each day. A big thank you to MEA, who surprised the staff with snacks on Wednesday. The PTO also sponsored a wonderful breakfast on Friday morning with donated food. And finally, all the MCAS exams have concluded for the year, with the final 8th grade civics exam finished on May 21st. So for the middle school.
And then for the elementary schools, GWS and South River both have their, and Daniel Webster are all visiting FBMS on the 2nd. And they will all do their tour around FBMS for the incoming 6th graders. Martinson and Daniel Webster and Governor Winter are all having their field days coming out, which is a fun day of activities for all students. Amesway will also, Governor Winslow will be having their spring concert and art show on Thursday, June 5th, and South River will be having, the 1st grade will be having their science day, and then their music department will be having their spring concert rehearsal on June 9th, and then the concert and art show the day after on the 10th. And then Lily was unfortunately not able to come here tonight, but the high school just finished up with their senior week, with all the seniors now out of the school unless they're taking finals. And then all of the teachers are getting ready for finals for the rest of the grades.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Okay. Principal Goodrow, could I ask you a big favor? Could we turn the projector off? It's blinding me. If I go just a little bit this way? Oh, okay. We can keep it. I can also just go like this. Yeah. I'll get even closer to Dr. Mark. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, Dr. Mark, for invading your personal space. Okay, so again, we're going to move the informational to the end of the meeting, but we will take any public participation. If anybody who is a member of the public wishes to address the committee, now is your time to do so. And Jackie, you know the drill.
Sorry.
Jackie Mason, 1415 Ocean Street. Over the past year, I've had the privilege working alongside some truly incredible moms and community members. People who have given their time, their voices, and their hearts to this cause, not for praise, but for something more, much more, and making sure every child can play, belong, and be included. On June 4th at 6 p.m. in the Select Board Chambers, I'm asking you, our community, to show up to stand with these families. Becoming ADA compliant is more than just following the law. It's our opportunity to teach the next generation what it looks like to show up for each other, what it looks like to be a community. Because the truth is, these kids will face moments in their lives where they'll feel like the world is against them. But this moment can be the one they carry with them forever. The one that reminds them that they are seen, they are valued, and they are never alone. Let's be that community. Let's make June 4th the day that changes everything for them and for all of us. I hope to see everyone again on June 4th at 6 p.m. at the Select Board Chambers. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we don't respond to public comment, but I just want to say two quick things. First of all, you stole one of Dr. Sullivan's talking points, which is great. That's great, because I know he was going to mention that as well. We were just speaking about it. I plan on being at that meeting as well. And Ms. Stetson and Ms. Brait are the school committee's representatives on that working group. I know they're looking forward to that. And I know we emailed about this. I just want to say thank you. I know this is a lot of work, and it's a really important cause, so thank you. Any other members of the public wish to address the meeting at this point? Okay, seeing none. MEA update. Mr. Raymond.
The red cup for you too, Mr.
Yes.
Take it on yourself. Hello, everyone. It's good to see everybody. Hi, Karen. This is my buddy Tommy. He's going to be helping me out today. I hope you'll excuse me for 6.5 minutes kind of thing today.
Time.
I appreciate it. So Mr. Costello, members of the Marshfield School Committee, I hope you're all well and that you enjoy your Memorial Day weekends. Thank you, as always, for time on tonight's agenda. I'm particularly excited this evening to share 5 or so good minutes with my friend and graduating senior Tommy Bongelati, who has waited since September to sing the praises of one of his all-time favorite teachers, Mrs. Caroline Broadus. At the beginning of each year, MHS seniors work with their English teachers to brainstorm, outline, draft, revise again, and sometimes simply polish off the all-important Common App for their college applications for the fall and winter. A number of my own students chose to write about the positive impact that educators have had on their young lives and learning. This is especially life-affirming for the educators of Marshfield Public Schools when one considers these young men and women could write about anything. They can write about their dogs and grandmas, Eagle Scout projects and Jeep restorations, how their love of Legos turned into a career path, or how overcoming adversity transformed them into a happier and more authentic version of themselves. Several students chose, of all subjects, their respect and admiration for their teachers. I'll allow Tommy to introduce himself from here and tell you in his own and much more impactful words why Mrs. Broadus has meant so much to him.
Let's go. So I'm here today to tell you my personal story, one that changed my life and shows how powerful a great teacher can really be. So back in 2nd grade, reading felt like impossible for me. I was really bad at it, really behind. Letters didn't sit well, and they moved around, flipped, and it just didn't make sense. I was trying my best, no matter how hard I tried, I always felt behind. Reading out loud in class was the worst. I watched other kids read easily while I stumbled through it. It made me feel a little bit different, and not in a good way. One person who saw me and was going through or saw what I was going through was my reading teacher, Mrs. Broadus. She didn't just tell me I was wrong, she helped me figure things out. She turned our reading time into something fun. We played games, shared snacks, and we read together. And she made mistakes feel okay. I still remember misreading the word minute as minute. Instead of making me feel bad, she smiled and said, "No worries, Tommy, you're doing better than last week." And I believed her. But she didn't stop there. She saw something deeper and suggested I get tested in Boston. That's when I was diagnosed with dyslexia. Mrs. Broadus didn't just teach me how to read, she taught me how to not give up. She helped me believe that struggling doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger. That lesson has stuck with me in everything I do, whether it's playing football, track, or just helping out at a camp counselor at the Boys and Girls Club. So I do work at the Boys and Girls Club now, and I help kids out who are going through the same struggles that I was at one point. This kind of mentor, like Mrs. Broadus, is something that I want to be a mentor to other kids, just like how she was to me. So why am I telling you all this? Because teachers like Mrs. Broadus changed my life. You're not just teaching math or reading, you're giving kids hope, confidence, and a future. And even if you don't always see the results right away, I promise you, what you do matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. I've been working with students across New England and beyond on composing the best possible college essays for 15 years.
Of course.
And in that time, I can tell you that dozens have chosen to devote much, if not all, of the most important 650 words of their lives to educators like Mrs. Broadus, one who couldn't possibly have known her full impact on her students at the time, but who deserves to upon reflection. Here at Marshfield, I've read essays about Mr. Goodman's kindness at South River, Ms. Nyland's guidance at Eamsway, and just about everything green and good under the sun about Mrs. Irons here at Martinson, and many more besides. If my own semi-monthly praise of the educators at Marshfield has begun to feel a bit one note, a tad predictable to my platform, I suppose I would understand. If the heartfelt gratitude that comes from a young man like Tommy nearly a decade later, if that doesn't move you, I would certainly not understand that. People like Mrs. Broadus work in every building across our town. They deserve our deepest respect in word and in deed. Supporting them is an action, a conscious decision, sometimes requiring great courage, and always, always worth the effort made. But don't take it from me. Take it from a young man like Tommy. Thank you guys for your time. And Tommy, again, thank you. God bless you.
Well, first of all, Mr. Raymond, don't ever stop doing these. That was excellent. Tommy, outstanding, great work. That was so nice. I think that was so heartfelt. You made Miss Stetson cry.
It's not that
It's not hard, but still you did it. And I think Mrs. Pazurski is probably going to want a picture of you and Mrs. Broadus. So can we get you guys just down here and we can take a picture of the two of you together so we can maybe put that out. That's a good idea.
You said that you want to be a mentor. Thank you.
Give one more round of applause for Mrs. Broadus. Let Mom get the picture.
See that?
You're going to make Miss Stetson cry again.
Can I take a picture of that?
See, ever that little? Here.
Take a picture.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, sure.
You're right.
That's what this works.
Don't forget your picture.
Yes. Mark.
My daughter's leaving here. That's Mark. You make me cry, and that's why I think I'm a little extra. Like a little extra.
They're going to miss Mark.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, did you put any kids through here, Joni? Just 5.
Oh, well, Joni had 5.
Oh, that's 4.
Jody still wins.
Yeah, Joni went.
So of this table, 15 kids have gone to Martin's. 17.
One's still in. I still have it actually.
I still talk 8 to 17 and a half. That's unbelievable. See, Martinson's.
And I went to Martinson.
You went to Martinson?
At Martinson,
That's excellent. That's excellent. I would like our newest select board member to know that this is a pretty special meeting that you chose to come to. So that's, I'm glad you're at this one in particular because you get to see just how special our schools are. I know you know that as a parent in the district, having sent 2 kids to the schools here, but I'm glad you're here for this one. This is great. Okay. The rest of this agenda does not live up to everything that we just did, but there's a lot of good stuff anyway. Yes. Oh, CPAC has a lot of good stuff. That's right. So why don't we just go right into CPAC? CPAC, come on up. Okay. That's fine. They can just.
Just come up to the mic, it's probably the best.
All right, we'll keep the good vibes rolling here with our friends from CPAC.
Welcome. Thank you.
I should know by now. I've always had to, because I can't. Like, I just cry every day. Like, I can't. I don't know, if I start sometimes, I can't stop. Just gotta read it in. Maybe reach out.
Okay, good evening, everybody. It is my pleasure to introduce the Marshfield CPAC board members. Tonight, we're going to give you a little overview of what CPAC is and what we have accomplished throughout the year. Our board members are Amy Smith, who is our chairperson, Jada Coyne, who is our co-chair, and Lori Dolan, who is the secretary, and Kendra Stedman, who is our school committee representative. I'm Amy Scalaro, I'm the assistant superintendent of student services, and I have the pleasure of working with all of these people and all of the things that they accomplish in the district. So we are going to, I will click the slides, and you're going to start us off, and I'm just going to teach you the
I know, that's right.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to say that I typically get very nervous about speaking, but looking out, I know all of you for the most part. If you don't, my name is Amy Smith. I'm the chairperson for CPAC. I'm going to go through kind of the nitty-gritty, and then I'm going to pass the baton on. What is CPAC? CPAC stands for the Special Education Parent Advisory Council. Under the Massachusetts law, each school district must have a parent advisory council that supports special education, often referred to as HAC or CPAC, we go as. Membership includes families whose children are receiving special education services, including those with IEPs, 504 plans, and out-of-district placements. MPSD CPAC mission, our bylaws were from October 2011. To provide a network in which parents of children with special needs have access to relevant information, training, and emotional support, and to encourage an atmosphere of effective, open communication, understanding, and mutual respect among all students, parents, educators, and the community at large. What does CPAC do? Works with the Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, Amy Scalaro, regarding planning, program evaluation, and program development. We promote a support network for families with the inclusion of children with learning differences, provides annual training for families regarding special education law and the IEP process. We promote communication and we plan forums and presentations for parents and guardians. We meet with school staff to receive current information about our school services and to present parent input. Organizational structure. We're a volunteer organization governed by bylaws. We have an executive board of voting members, which includes the following officers: a chairperson, vice chair, and recording secretary. We have school representatives and a school committee representative as well.
So this looks very complicated, but basically what our MPSD continuum of services is special education in the district really goes, has a huge continuum of services. So if you look at this document at the top, and this is kind of what we talk about in our meetings. At the top of this document, it's things that are available for all students across the district. We have universal design for learning, differentiated instruction. We have a district curriculum accommodation plan that is available to everyone. And then for students with disabilities, if they are tested and they're found eligible, we have a range of services available across the district. So there's an academic continuum of services with so many different professionals that are working with people, general ed teachers, reading specialists, special ed teachers, OTs, PTs, speech and language. So just a whole bunch of people that are working together to make sure that students are receiving exactly what they need and we get the right match of service, all the way from full inclusion within the classroom to some of their day outside of the classroom, to programs completely outside of the classroom, but included within the school, to out-of-district placements. And we have that same range of services for academics, for social emotional, and for behavioral support continuum of services. So this document is available online. It's very complicated, but it gives an idea. Ultimately, all of special education, our goal is to meet the needs of every student individually in the least restrictive environment possible. So all those people work together to make that happen. And then further down in the document, there's just a list of all the different programs that we have across the district, from early childhood, preschool programs, we have ASD MELD programs, developmental language-based programs, all the way preschool through age 22. So those are the programs that CPAC we work on together to try to make sure that we have the most inclusive services possible. All right?
Hello, everyone. So, what have we done this year? One thing that I love about CPAC is while we are really focused on special education and really supporting caregivers, parents, everyone with that, we also want other people anyone to attend us, and it can be from not only the Marshfield School District, but outside as well. So, things that we've covered this year was a big one, introduction to the new IEP form. So Amy did that to kind of kick off the year. In October, this is my own personal crusade. It's kind of like an escape room, navigating Canvas and Aspen. But really, I think all of us are like, what is this? How can we use it? How can we support our students? So that's a very popular one. We also do a basic rights, which is needed every single year and is great, that is put on through a Zoom call. Lots of questions answered, even though the quiz is in there, so it's interactive. And then once we kind of turn into the second half of the year, we do like reaching out, especially to PACES. They have great programs for us to be able to bring people in. And this is, I think, both the January and April meetings, from chaos to calm, executive functioning, anyone can use that, and also the emotional brain. We had probably close to 40 or 50 attendees on both. It was excellent. So really well received. You know it's good when you have to keep putting out more chairs and the people are coming in. So really kind of good organizational things, a wide variety, making sure that everyone kind of gets something covered that they can attend to. And then, yeah, just the different, you'll also notice that if you are on any of social media pages or you see it out in the newsletters, we really like to announce in advance. I have to say, shout out to Lori, who puts together all of our flyers for us. But really just kind of getting the word out there, letting people know that there is help, there are things that people can attend, things that people can just kind of look at to see what are some questions, maybe I don't know what I don't know. Again, basic rights, chaos to calm, the emotional brain, And then the very last one that wasn't on the date page is we did jointly sponsor the transition-related night with Colleen Casey, talking about transitioning to college, which I'm scarily that parent that is already there, but really excited to be able to see that it doesn't mean it just ends for you, it just kind of pivots. It's a little bit different. So really good information for that. I'll pass it on to Lori.
Hi, I'm Lori Dolan. I want to say that we've really lived the mission of this CPAC. And to show that, we've had a lot of collaboration working with the district leadership, staff, in the schools and outside. We are really focused on engagement. We've been working on getting more parents involved. That can be as simple as getting a parent to help distribute the Instagram posts, or putting them on each of the elementary school sites. We have so many different class level social media sites. We don't have, the three of us don't have access to all of those, so we're getting help that way through the parent involvement. So what we did is we've created diverse and impactful presentations. We collaborate as a team, we look at all our options, we think, geez, what would really have helped us back when? And we've come up with some really great presentations over the last year and the year before. And we're building our following, and that's showing, through the social media and through attendance at our meetings. And I have to tell you, it's a little bit of a brag here, but every meeting we go to, the presenters go, oh my God, I've never had an audience this big. So we are growing our social media presence to enhance the community engagement, and that includes going outside of Marshfield. So we've tried to engage Norwell, CPAC, and Hanover, and the other local ones. So we're getting there. So our goals, we need to facilitate our elections. We had planned to do it around now, but we weren't able to do it, so it'll be in the fall. But I think we've got 3 pretty strong candidates here that may get volunteered again. We're trying to continue to strengthen the parent engagement, give them more things to do, help us spread the word. We're constantly trying to come up with new ideas of things we can offer, including initiatives. And we're doing that with some questions at each of our presentations, surveys, things like that. We are working, we've just begun working with MEF. We're moving to ask for a grant so that we could perhaps get a screening of screenagers, which would be a regional showing. And it's, what they cover is tech-related impact on pupils. So they have a wide range of offerings, but I've been to one of theirs once before. It was amazing. And I think every parent and some students would really get a lot out of it, depending on which one we choose. We're continuing to advocate for inclusive special ed practices by working together within the district. And we are constantly trying to identify and pursue new opportunities and building our partnerships. So, and thank you very much to Amy and Jada. You guys are amazing.
Thanks, Steve.
And they told me I didn't have to take all the questions, but I'm hoping there aren't any.
Do we have any questions from the committee? Ms. Stetson, yeah, I have comments as well. Go ahead, you guys first.
Just a comment. We've been on the committee for 10 years. This is by far the most active and robust CPAC CPAC that has existed at least in the last 10 years. And that's a testament to the work that you all are doing. So thank you so much for the hours and hours and hours, I'm sure, of time you put into this. It's much appreciated. And I also heard from people at PAC who came to the presentation that it was the biggest audience that they've seen. So that was accurate.
Mr. Greer, go ahead.
Yeah, well, being on the school committee, I field a lot of questions actually from people I work with. And I always refer them to Marshfield. You guys are the modern CPAC. And again, like a lot of the towns, they you know, the CPAC exists. You can't find them out any place. Also, when I first got on the school committee, I was a school committee rep to CPAC. I was just amazed that everybody does. One thing I'd like to see is the yeah, that was very informative. The kids got a lot out of it, the adults got a lot out of it. Keep up the good work.
Awesome. Mrs. Dargan.
I was just going to sort of echo what Mr. Greer said. As a social worker and therapist in the community, I'm regularly hearing families that are supported by your organization, and I refer people from outside of our community, and they come back to report, well, that was so helpful, you know, more than sometimes the ones on their own. So thank you for the work you do. I know it's a lot of time and effort, and it really is making an impact.
And I'm going to pile on as well. For work, I work for the Mass Association of School Committees, and I get to work with a bunch of other school districts in this region. And part of my job is to help them diagnose their strengths, their weaknesses, and kind of things they do well. I have yet to see a CPAC perform the way that you all perform. The fact that you contribute so effectively to moving the district forward, that you tie in the district's mission, and that you make special education a centerpiece of what we do here in Marshfield, working with Ms. Scalaro and Ms. Stetson, is very impressive. And I absolutely loved hearing in your presentation that you're reaching out to some of the other towns in the area and expanding the influence. So it shows Marshfield is a leader on special education, not just doing well here in our community, but spreading that effectiveness to other communities as well. That education that you provide to the community and to parents and caregivers in the community is hugely important. So thank you for the work that you do. It doesn't go unnoticed.
I also want to thank the CPAC. The first one I went to this year was the executive functioning meeting, and it was just overwhelming how many people were there. But I really think the secret sauce is the collaboration that you have with Marshfield Public Schools. It's so closely ingrained in it. It's really about us as a whole, and many communities can't say that. There's often very oppositional way of looking at things, and Marshfield has really embraced that we're all working together to help all of our kids. And so you made that happen. So thank you for your continued effort in that way.
Thank you. Get a round of applause for our CPAC. And no questions, so you can rest easy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. We look forward to seeing you next year. All right. We're going to go ahead and take our elementary school handbook, surveys, and improvement plan items to get our principals on the world a little sooner.
So I just want to start by thanking our elementary principals, and of course Mr. Hill, our elementary assistant principal. But I don't get enough of a chance to do this publicly. We're very blessed to have such an amazing group of principals in this district. So it was one of the highlights of coming back here is just seeing them in action. They're all fantastic. So I just want to thank you for coming out to do this tonight. The first part is about handbooks, and that's an easy one because we haven't made any substantive handbook changes from when we last presented. If you remember, this year, because of the transition, we actually presented our handbook changes a little later. So there are no substantive changes. You have the handbook in your packets. We really just changed dates on it. So we're looking for a vote on the handbook and then a vote on the school improvement plans. I'm not sure if you want to do the handbook now.
Any questions or comments on the handbook? I have no questions, but I don't know if any other member of the committee has any other questions.
No, I've worked with two of the councils on them and really did nice work with the community and saw some of the words of that done.
Great, awesome. Okay, is there a motion to approve the elementary school handbook as presented? So moved from Ms. Stetson. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Greer. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, that's 400. Ms. Mazursky. We are all over the place tonight. This is very fun. Okay, now we will turn it on over to you guys for your presentation on our school council surveys and school improvement plan.
So I should mention that as you mentioned, so this is a school council presentation. So really it's not just the principals, but it's the whole makeup of the school council, which includes an equal partnership between parents, guardians, and caregivers, and teachers and administrators. Those two groups are equally represented on the councils. They do a lot of work, and they're the ones that create our school improvement plans. They create our handbooks, and those are important documents that have to be approved each year by the school committee at this particular meeting. I should say that we also had a survey this year. We had some conversations and collaborations about what to do with the survey. It's very important that we gauge family engagement. We get a sense for how well we're engaging our families. And also that we get a sense for the other stakeholders that the council represents, how they're feeling about initiatives moving forward. We're doing it every other year with a formal uniform survey across the district. And then the other year is an individual created survey by the councils. What you have this year is that individual survey that's created by the councils. And if you notice, the school improvement plans are now a common template across the district. So that's something that I feel good about. I'm glad we did that. I'm going to hand the microphone over, actually. What we're going to do is we're just going to go through our school improvement goals. It's important to know that the goals are created uniquely for the buildings that house where the goals are happening. However, they very much tie into our district strategic plan. And so you'll notice in the formal plan that each goal cites a pillar and the initiatives that carry forward from our strategic plan. So we're all moving in one direction. That helps us set our goals as a leadership team. It helps us set our goals as a teacher team too, and our educators. So I'll hand it over, and I guess we're at South River, so I'll start with Principal Baird.
And actually, we're going to Pillar 1 and Pillar 2, which is our goal 1 and 2 for all 5 elementaries, are actually the same. So I'm going to share 1, Jill will share 2, then we'll go back and do the South River ones that are individual and our survey, just so everyone understands that. So our first goal was about strengthening the culture of belonging in our school community. So this was really to follow up on the work that was started this year, district-wide. So obviously you know about the belonging committee that's been happening. We have started belonging committees in a pretty small scale in our schools and want to really develop that more next year. As part of that work too, we would love to research an SEL program or curriculum or determine where we're going with that. So that will be some of the work that we'll do collaboratively, and then continue with our goal of this year of increasing voice for students and staff. So that's something that all 5 elementary schools will be doing together.
And then for our goal 2 from Pillar 2, as we know, we started implementing the new reading program. So our goal is focused on just making sure we're strengthening that and also adding that all block in there. So continuing to do the foundational skills block, the small group reading time, the all block, and the win block. And using our GLC time to make sure that we're looking at data, we're problem solving, finding where the problems are, how to fix them, and what we can do. And just using all that data to inform our instruction. And then using the coaches, we want to maximize their expertise as much as we can, and having them work hand in hand with us in the implementation. And then just making sure that everybody is going to all of the professional development so that they can do all the things that they can do to the very best of their ability. And that will benefit our kids as readers and writers. Now back to South River.
Thank you. So our goal 3 at South River, we actually had 2. There's an A and a B. And these are directly related to our school survey from feedback from families. So one thing that came up through our survey was really talking about so we're talking about, all of the different activities and events and opportunities we have for kids, but we don't do a really great job about celebrating that. So to really get on a regular schedule of celebrating those events and showcasing how much we do engage with the community, we do it small ways through our newsletter and things, but maybe not as much in bigger ways. So that was really one area that we'd like to do. And for that Pillar 3 one is also to involve students in that work, so getting students to take pictures and writing the blurbs of what's happening in their school and how they're engaging with the community. And then the next one was develop and implement a new activity at the school that helps more connections with our broader community. So promote one event, and then really have students help with planning that event and seeing that through with the community. But it's really about celebrating that, because some of that work is happening, but we're just not doing as great a job celebrating it. So. And then Pillar 4 was ensure accessible learning environments for all students. I know you've all heard this from me before, but South River School is not handicap accessible, so we got a ramp last year, which is the first part of our project, so we'd like to continue that work, looking at our bathrooms, looking at all of our outdoor spaces, and obviously in the future, in making all of the floors of South River accessible. So that's just something that will be ongoing until we can complete that. And also making sure, the other piece of this is really just to make sure that our schedule meets the needs of all of the students too. That's kind of tied in there as a bit of an action step. Peter. Any questions about that before I go to the school council survey? Great, thank you. So sort of the glows and grows of our survey, I think sort of the biggest thing that stood out to me was 100% of families feel extremely welcome or very welcome at school. And that really, I think, was sort of a consistent theme for us throughout the survey. And even things that would be on grows also came through as glows and other people, so that was interesting too. But the staff in school were praised for being supportive, inclusive, really sponsoring that sense of belonging. Families highlighted the consistent and timely updates of newsletters. They really liked the Talking Points app we've been using. They thought there was a lot of opportunities to be involved and volunteer and engage in school events. And because of that, they'd like more events. So more family learning nights, more family fun nights. And they felt like we could help PTO with outreach a little bit more and maybe think about how our PTO is engaging with families in some different ways. So those are some things that we'll be working on next year. Any questions?
That, just very quickly, that 100% families feeling extreme, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And that's a feather in your cap and all of your staff as well. I just wanted to say that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was great.
I'm back. So actually, our goals are quite similar to South River's. So our Pillar 3, that is focused on our being inclusive, having meaningful events that really engage our families and the community. What we have found, as we talked about with our Spotlight on Excellence, is that we find that a lot of the events that we're having aren't necessarily frequented by a lot of our EL population. And so we were really want to focus on how can we bring all families and students in and really branch out so everybody feels like they're welcome and have a place. And so some of the things we talked about, we had a really great Lego night back in January. And honestly, I didn't think many people were going to come. It was cold, and I didn't think anybody was going to come up. But that cafeteria was packed. I had to leave because I got a little overwhelmed because there were so many people in there. I'm sure we were breaking fire codes. But it was a great problem to have. And we really talked about that at the school council. And we're like, because anybody can do Legos. And so it's not like you have to have a certain type of knowledge to be able to do that. So we talked about really working with our PTO, who really helps put together all these events, and finding other things like having, a STEM night, like bracelet making, pizza bingo, things that anybody can come to, that it doesn't feel, it's inclusive, and it doesn't feel like I'm not really comfortable doing that. It has to be something that everybody feels really good about. So we're going to do a lot of work trying to find ways to bring in more people, make them feel like this is an event for them too. It's for everybody. And then with our Pillar 4, it's the same thing that Emily was just talking about to ensure the accessible learning environments, and that was really just keeping the schedule the way it needs to be. It's really tricky at Martinson sometimes to get those schedules the way they need to be. We want to make sure that all of the students have all of the minutes met that they need to have met, and do it in such a way that it's meaningful for students and not broken up. And then something that the school council, every single year that we have a school improvement plan, they always make sure that we keep on keeping our class sizes to be appropriate so that students can learn at maximum levels. So that's our goals for our school improvement plan. And then looking at our survey, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm going to look at my phone. See, I can see up close, I cannot see far away.
The opposite. Can't see. I don't know what this is.
Unfortunately, that is.
So we had 100% of parents felt that their cultural background and values were respected by the school community. So I thought that was huge. It kind of goes along with what we were just talking about over here with South River. This is huge, and so it's interesting because that was said, but then we look at attendance and we don't see the attendance. So we have to make those things kind of meet so that they match a little bit better. The additional comments, we had like an open comment section of the survey, and they were just so overwhelmingly positive. We were really excited about that as we were looking through those as a council. And the families indicated that the email is more of the preferred mode of communication. But again, that's a little bit skewed because if you look over at the note side, we didn't have a lot of people that actually responded to our survey. So right now, I think we're sitting at 452 students, and we had 59 people respond to the survey. 59. So the ones that did respond, it was all great, but we don't have enough people that are represented here. So I feel like the information that you're looking at is a little bit skewed. So
Keep it open.
kind of going back to, that goal 3 is really trying to gauge the families more. They got the survey, but they didn't take it, and how can we pull them in? So really that goal 3 for us is huge, because I think this reflects it. We're just not getting the numbers that we want to and getting the input that we were looking for. And one thing that I also was really excited about was there was a lot of, in the open comment section, there was things about specific teachers that were really positive, so that was really awesome to see. And I made sure that the teachers that had those nice comments, I shared them with them, because we need those. And then the other thing that came out that was kind of interesting was that there was parents saying, okay, well, you reach out to me when there's something wrong. Can you reach out to us when there's something right? So looking for more communication when something positive happens with their student at school, which is always a great thing, which is why I love doing what we did tonight to really highlight the kids that graduated from the EL program. So that basically, that was what we got from the very few people that did respond.
Hi, everybody. So our goals at Governor Winslow are very similar to the other elementary schools, which makes, I think, Marshfield special. We are on the same page as far as meeting the needs of our students across all 5 elementary schools. So Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 are the same as Emily and Jill graciously explained. And Pillar 3 for us will engage all members of the Governor Winslow School community to increase awareness of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging throughout the school. That sounds similar to our first goal, but our school council, and Mr. McNulty, jump in if any time if you'd like, because you were there all the time as well. Ours wanted to take this just a little bit further in the community engagement and communications. We're all doing an awful lot of different things under each of the pillars, but this is the one our school council really wanted to go even a little bit further than just, recognizing it as a school, but more individually bringing in our peace leaders in 5th grade to help us with this. We already had one meeting this year with our belonging committee, and I think it was kind of neat. We we found there might not be a lot of diversity culture-wise at Governor Winslow, but there's so much diversity in learners. We noticed most of our students come in through the front door, and that's beautifully decorated and warm and welcoming, and we have some students who come in a side entrance, and the committee said we want to make that equally as warm and welcoming. So things came up. It's more of an awareness, and I have to look at our new leader, Dr. Sullivan, who really felt very strongly about this, but our school council looked at like your mosaic. We would love to, on a school-wide scale, sort of model things like that. That's something that we haven't quite done yet. So we want to expand and make the awareness even greater next year. We're looking forward to that. And then pillar 4, for us as well as the others, is to ensure accessible learning environments that are provided for all students. And much like Emily's a physical building, all our buildings, I think we're 55 years old or something this year, so the in-building, but our school council chose to focus on the learning environments within the classroom. And so like Jill, schedules are similar for each and every classroom. We also have, are working with teachers on that UDL strategies. In other words, they're trying to make learning accessible for all students. And we even started class placement with this, placing students where the resources every child at every grade level will be able to get what they need based on the way we place our students. And I think, Mark, did I leave anything out? We're good with that?
I think you covered it very well this time.
Our glows and grows, we had a very high rate of 96%. Someone must be mad at us, Mark. I don't know. No, but 96% feel Governor Winslow meets the social emotional needs of their child, and that has been something we've been working on for many years. As 5 elementary schools, we've been really concerned with the social emotional needs of our children and our staff. Also, 96% feel Governor Winslow meets their child's academic needs and encourages them to excel. We've always felt that's our job as an academic institution, so we're proud of that. And then our response comments, like everybody else's so far in the survey, were highly positive about the students and their families' experiences. There are some grows that we're really looking to focus on. The communication, we've talked about this as a district, and it came out in our survey that the communication is good, but the methods of each teacher at Governor Winslow is not the same. And we talked about possibly having a common means of communication. Some teachers are just emails, some use Dojo, we talked about that as trying to help, particularly parents with students at multiple buildings, at middle and high school, to make it a more common form. Only one password maybe instead of 27,000. I'm maybe on that. So, and then we're trying. That was a district goal as well. And then families do feel welcomed and involved, but they really are eager for even more. I think they miss the pre-COVID days of coming into classrooms and doing crafts and doing it feels. It doesn't, they're still welcome, but with our schedules being so jam-packed, it just feels like we're going to try to find more opportunities for that. And as always, we talked about the playgrounds, basketball, everything, just making sure that everything is to the best it can be for students at GWS.
And the other end, very good. So that, not to be redundant, but yes, also for Pillar 3 at Ames Way, a heavy focus on implementing school-wide activities and initiatives to promote improved growth mindset, resilience, and community connections. One thing we did this year was the Grit Challenge, which was a huge success. Next year, we're going to focus on productive struggle. We have a whole idea with butterflies that we'll be focusing on. Again, with community connections, one thing that came out of our survey was also developing deeper and more meaningful connections to the surrounding community. And then strengthening clear, informative, and consistent communication between school and the community, as you'll see from our glows and grows from our survey. And then for Pillar 4, again, along with everybody else, ensuring a safe and accessible learning environment for all students. Ames Way building needs a lot of love, and we're giving it a lot of love, and finding unique ways to showcase learning, but also inspire learning in all of our different spaces.
Being creative in space.
Very creative spaces, yes. So in terms of glows and grows, I do want to add that over 60% of our 78 survey participants at Ames Way were kindergarten and first grade families, which was really interesting. So there's definitely a massive wave coming up through the primary grades, which is fascinating. So for that being said, glows, 94% of those surveys feel there are ample opportunities for family involvement at Ames Way School. Families love the Review weekly newsletter, and 86% feel that school-home communication is either done very well or well. Grows, desire for mentorship between families with students in the older and younger grades. So one thing we're going to be doing is having buddy nights throughout the school year. So we have a big buddy, little buddy system. So we're just going to have different activities, and then the buddy students can have buddy parents, and they'll have a natural mentorship, which we're really excited about. With events too, to have more frequent community events throughout the school year. We noticed that we have a few in the fall and then a ton in the spring, but we definitely need to even that out to keep the fun rolling throughout the whole school year consistently. And then there's also a desire for more community connections and service opportunities. So going out into the community, and then definitely bringing people into Ames Way to share their knowledge and experience, and then going in the theme of next year, showing how productive struggle inspires and promotes learning.
All right, last but not least, Danny Webster. I just want to recognize Jackie Mason as my site council member, so thank you. Oh, and Mrs. Costello, thank you, Sherry, for being here as well. So 2 members of our council are here. Thank you both. And sorry, Sherry, you snuck in behind me. I didn't see you. So our council, as my fellow principals shared, we have the same Pillar 1 and Pillar 2. Our Pillar 3, we kind of took a little bit of a spin of the theme for reading for our Pillar 3 and 4. Pillar 3, thinking about inspiring, and this came out of not only our survey with our families, but also from our staff. Really doing a lot with our families to strengthen the love of reading and that connection between reading and learning. Thinking about exploring best options for communication with family and how to help them understand those connections. So we're thinking of ideas like summer challenges, book clubs, morning book clubs, thinking about ways to do some book swaps and things like that, really engaging our community. And for Pillar 4, we're really looking, similar to my fellow principals, on creating spaces that cultivate and engage readers. Specifically looking at the Daniel Webster Library, again, thinking of that theme of reading. We recently did not, unfortunately, get our grant through the MEF. However, we're looking at exploring additional opportunities to make our library even more accessible, and I loved Caitlin's word, inspiring our readers. So really engaging our community in that project as well. So for our glows and grows. So our Daniel Webster Council felt really strongly about 2 or 3 years ago, we gave the Georgia Climate Survey to our families, staff, and students. So we continued with that survey to really look at any growth that we had made. And I want to say that one of the glows we had was that we have the greatest increase in families' feelings in the areas of family involvement in teaching and learning since 2022. So those were the greatest increases. 2 themes that ended up coming out of our open-ended comments were outstanding teachers, similar to my other principals, and a strong sense of community amongst Danny Webster. 99, I'm sorry I didn't get that 100, but 99% of our families feel comfortable actually speaking directly to teachers, so that was really great. They felt really comfortable coming in and having conversations. And families feel strongly that teachers have high standards for student achievement. So those are some of our glows. Some of our grows, a theme emerged from the comments, similar to my principals here across our town, is increased opportunities for family engagement. 20% of our families, this was alarming, that 20% of our families were uncertain on how to access resources available to support their children. So that is definitely something that we want to weave into our school improvement and really making sure that our families understand and know how to access our resources that are available. We've seen the greatest decrease on families' feelings about student safety going to and coming and from school. A lot of families talked a lot about the changes to the bus routes at Daniel Webster and our increase in walkers on 139. So we're going to continue to inform and educate them on the programs that we have done at Daniel Webster, like safe routes to schools and things like that, that we've had some partnerships with. And families, similar to my other principal friends, families would like to have longer conference times. So the Daniel Webster survey, we did have 110 out of almost over 350 families, so that was a great involvement there. And we did have mixed responses regarding communication. Some people felt things were great, and some people did not feel things were great. So we are going to give them yet another survey towards the end of the year, coming out of our PTO, thinking about how they would like best to receive information. So we're going to continue asking and continue, getting a feel for their voice.
Did I miss anything?
There you go.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, very thorough. Any questions or comments from the committee? I just want to say thank you. I mean, this is a lot of work that goes throughout the year, right? But I think what I pick up on as you talk about these areas of strength and areas of weakness or areas of growth is that you all understand and your staffs understand the importance of educating the whole child and how much that impacts how they learn the curriculum. So I'm very encouraged to see, obviously we have outstanding elementary schools here. I think that there's the strengths far outweigh the grows for every school, right? But knowing all of you, I know you're focused on those grows because I know that you want to make sure that your school is the best possible version of itself that it can be. So I know I speak for all of us when I say we appreciate that. We're here to support you in that. I know the town, the community supports you in that. And so we very much appreciate the work that goes into that. But I just wanted to give you kudos because every single one of you demonstrates genuine understanding of educating the whole child and how important that is to overall academic success. So thank you very much. Any other comments, questions? Okay, great. We need to vote on. Okay. Just pull up my agenda here. Okay, any questions or comments on anything else before we accept a motion to approve these improvement plans? Take a motion whenever somebody wants to do it. So moved for Ms. Stetson. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Greer. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. You guys can go if you want to.
Yes, please.
We know you have to be up early tomorrow.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you very much.
Good night.
All right. We have a bunch of small items to take care of. And then we're going to move to the meeting minutes, and then we're going to go to the information. So we'll take a little backwards. The 2025 to 2026 district conference calendar, this is a second read. Dr. Sullivan, anything else to add on that?
No, but I will defer a bit to Dr. Martin, who did extensive work with that. Anything to add?
No, we haven't changed anything. We did actually double check on A and B days, the MBA, just to make sure that it's pretty well evenly spaced as to the early release days. But nothing else has changed.
So this is a second read, so we'd want to vote on this.
Awesome.
Please.
Just given that it's in the school improvement plan, they talked about these more conference time. I'm guessing that's not in this as of right now, correct? Right, so
That goes hand in hand with our curriculum night. So we've been working with a committee of administrators and teachers at the elementary level. That was part of the survey that went out, the questions about conference times versus curriculum night. So we're taking all of that information, and it looks like overwhelmingly people want longer conferences, which we still have to determine how that's going to look and how that will fall within the course of the year, which is why right now there's not an elementary curriculum night on this calendar, because chances are that will not be happening. But we also have to talk about how we're going to get the curriculum information out if we get rid of that curriculum night. So that's ongoing. Okay.
Thank you. We had the belonging committee with the LPAC group, and they talked about the difficulty with the conference time with teacher translation. And I talked to a couple of teachers at the elementary level, and they said they didn't think it was so much during the conference that it was tricky with time with the translator, but more so the translators were running from room to room, and so that was they were shifting the times a little bit. So I don't know.
Well, that's a perfect example of something that we can work to adjust, and that fits right in with what we're trying to do. And that's that accessibility that all of their plans. So yeah, that's a great point. Ms. Duggan brought that up to you. Yeah. Ms. Duggan brought that up to me after the meeting, and I thought it was really a salient point that we should look into, because we want to make sure that they maximize. I mean, everyone's feeling those times are too short, but you can imagine someone who needs translation waiting for a translator, and then the pressure that puts on the teacher. You almost have to do those separately at this stage, and we should do better than that. So yeah, sounds good. So we'll look into that. And open for ideas too. That's good.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the district conference calendar for 2025-26? So moved for Ms. Stetson. Is there a second? Second for Mrs. Dargan. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand, saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, 400. We have a couple other items. We have the 2026 to 2027 academic calendar. Does that give anybody else stress? We're talking about 2027 already. This is a first read of this calendar. Moving along, that's right. This is just a first read. If anybody has any questions or comments, Dr. Sullivan, I don't know if you have anything to present on this.
No, I think it's self-explanatory. If you take a look at the calendar, this is just a first read, so it's just giving us input into things we might consider as we refine it before we bring it to you for an official vote.
Question? Yep. Mr. Greer, question? Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
No questions?
No, no questions. No, we do have, the fourth is determined.
Yeah, it's contractual
It's
language.
contractual.
Right.
Right. Right.
So it's on it before
Right. Right.
And you kind of gives you a little buffer if you do have, which we never will, but if you
Right.
have the big 7 days.
Right. Mr. Greer has that language memorized because he's done the last 14 contracts.
Well, you'll be happy, yeah, Cohasset adopted that language.
I'll do this too.
You did, actually.
Do you usually have the half days? No. Oh, we never have half days?
I can't speak to that. Is that?
It's just the holiday half days. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, we'll keep this as a first read. I don't see a need to rush the vote on this, so we'll just keep this as a first read and vote it at our next meeting. Okay, we're moving on to the school committee representatives to local collaboratives. We have 2 collaboratives that need us to just reappoint our representatives. Ms. Stetson's been nominated for the Pilgrim Area Collaborative, as she has so ably filled for the last 10 years, including a few stints as chair of that collaborative, having hired their director and all sorts of different things. So Ms. Stetson's been nominated. Is there a second?
Second.
Second for Mrs. Dargan. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand, saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? I figured, yeah.
Yes.
So that's a 4-0-0 there, Mrs. Pazierski. And the South Shore Educational Collaborative, this is something where we have traditionally appointed our superintendent to represent us on. I see no need for that to change unless you hate it.
No, I'm the vice president. so-
Right. Doesn't mean you can't hate it.
Well, you offered me to be the vice president. No, that's your choice.
No, we
Okay.
appreciate the work that you do there as well. Is there a motion to reappoint Dr. Sullivan to that collaborative? So moved from Ms. Stetson. Is there a second? Second from Ms. Dargan. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Thank you very much. Okay, we have some minutes to approve. I just almost looked to you just reflexively, Mrs. Pazierski.
I was in charge of being from.
Well, you're the secretary now.
Yeah, right, I'm from.
Yes, you are. So, I would just like to remind folks that per some new information that we found out recently, you are allowed to vote on the approval of meeting minutes even if you were not at that meeting. That is not an open meeting law violation.
That was news to me.
That is news to me as well, yeah. Yes,
Can we hold off on 450 and run into verifying?
we have one more meeting to approve those, so we certainly can. Yep, thank you. But we do need to approve the meeting minutes from April 1st today, as we are up on our deadline for that. So if there's anybody who would like to offer a motion to approve those meeting minutes, I would accept that motion. So moved for Ms. Stetson. Is there a second? Second for Mrs. Dargan. Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Mr. Greer saw a little hand move. That was an affirmative.
It's like an option, right?
Do you want me to speak faster?
No, that's fine, go ahead. Well, I knew I had to comment on one.
Okay. Okay. Per Mrs. Pazierski's request, you're Mrs. Dargan, Jesus. Per Mrs. Pazierski's request, we will hold off on the 4:15 meeting minutes. If anybody has any questions or comments on those, we'll certainly recognize those now. And because they're in draft form, they are available to the public. If anybody is interested in seeing them, I'm sure they're just riveting. Almost as riveting as our meeting minutes from the 28th of April, if anybody has a motion to be made on that. Approval of those minutes has been motion for approval from Ms. Stetson. Is there a second? Second, Mrs. Dargan. Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Do I have 350? And is there another one that I'm missing, Mrs. Pazierski? No, that is it? Okay, wonderful. We will move on to informational. Before we move to informational, I will take subcommittee reports, just because I would like Mrs. Dargan to be recognized. It's not exactly a subcommittee, but Mrs. Dargan has been doing unbelievable work to revamp our student representative to the school committee, and I want to thank you for that. You've been going to student council meetings, talking with the kids, and coming up with different ideas. You and I had a conversation, and I think we're in agreement that a student representative, and if you want to talk a little bit more about this as your subcommittee report, you're welcome to, but first of all, I think we codify whatever this process becomes into policy. I think what we should do is you know, you can come up with a proposal to the school committee as a policy, and we can discuss that. Ms. Brayton and I would discuss that as the policy subcommittee. But I think what I would love to see, and I know we had this discussion, is somebody as a student representative, obviously non-voting, but sit at the table and instead of telling us just about what's going on in the schools, which is valuable to hear from a student perspective, tell us what the student perspective is on items on our agenda. Tell us what they think about the items that we're taking up as a committee. We talk about student voice a lot, and this is the population that we're elected to serve, the students. So we want to hear from the students about what they think. And this is, I think, a perfect opportunity. I know you have some thoughts on how that you can get you know, information from every single one of the schools. I don't know if there's anything you want to share.
Well, to add, since we last spoke,
since we last spoke, Pat and I also had a discussion about it, and we were talking about how his superintendent's advisory council in the Cohasset district, you know, was helpful in this position. And so, yeah, sort of an easy segue. So we did start the process with the student council, so I think we have some more work to do on it and figure out how to roll that out. But in general, I think it really ties in with what we saw from the elementary surveys too, is, you know, how do we communicate what's happening in the district? It's not that things aren't happening. Things are happening all the time. what different ways can we communicate it, and how do we get more student voice involved in that? So, and I also don't enjoy reinventing the wheel. So if we already have places where students are using their voice and communicating with all of the schools in the district, and let's help that kind of segue into what we could use here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm excited about it.
Well, I just want to say thank you again, because we've been talking about this for years, and you've actually done, like, you're putting it into practice. So thank you, thank you.
I
thank
liked
you.
going to the student council meeting. It was enjoyable.
That's awesome. That's great. Thank you again. Much appreciated. Any other subcommittee reports at this time? Go ahead, Ms. Stetson.
Just that the collaborative teacher contract has been agreed upon.
Excellent.
Long,
Were you on that negotiating team? Nice. Was Mr. Greer, even though he's not on the PAC, he didn't volunteer? You love negotiations. Okay.
Well, I think, can I talk about the line here too?
Yes, please. Yes, that is a subcommittee report. Absolutely.
I don't think that it's officially a subcommittee right now. What you were talking about is sort of
Your
replacing the
liaison
wellness
to it,
committee.
so,
Yeah. So we did have a school year's worth of meetings. And it was really nice to bring together some different people from the community to open up some of the conversations and sort of identify where that might go. And that sort of culminated this past month with meeting with the LPAC, I said a couple minutes ago. And that was really nice. We got to, sit and share some different thoughts and ideas, and I think that was really helpful. Also, one thing I wanted to point out, because a couple of the kids in the graduation thing said they wanted to be police officers, and in the meeting that we had with the Lawn Committee, Officer Crowley is very helpful in being a liaison and a connection and welcoming people. So I couldn't help but think when I saw that, like, I'm probably influenced by Officer Crowley. So it's been fun to get together and open that discussion and sort of talk about how it contributes to benefit students and their families.
And I have a slide on my updates just on the lawn committee, as Mr. said. And you heard talk of the lawn committees at the building level. And that's the vision.
Yes.
The vision is that you have the district teams that are steering and moving it back and forth to the buildings. And it's really about every single person just making sure they belong, that they belong. And we did craft a draft vision, mission, and theory of action that we're going to start circulating to get input on. And then those become motivations for not only the district team, but the other teams as well. Great. So, and the key is to make that whole initiative uniquely Marshfield. It's what we want it to be, and it's us, what other people have done in their districts necessarily is what we want.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I just have one quick subcommittee report before we go to the informational updates. Tomorrow night is the Wall of Honor ceremony at 291 Ocean Street. We sold out the Wall of Honor ceremony, which is the first time we've ever done that, correct, Mrs. Pazerski? Correct. Yep.
140 or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, 130. Mrs. Pazerski told me.
Something like that.
Mrs. Pazerski told me today that she'll be a lot less mad at me on Thursday. Because my buddy and I over here have been working pretty hard on this event together. It's going to be a great night. I'm very much looking forward to it. I know you are as well. We'll be honoring 5 Group 6 outstanding individuals. Mr. Dick Devitt, who Ms. Stetson will be providing his testimonial. We'll be honoring Marianne Evans, Janet Gibson and Betsy Hoey, who founded Grad Night Live together, Lori Higgins, and Sarah Prouty. So it'll be a great night tomorrow night. I know all of us will be there. I'm looking forward to it, and I know you're looking forward to it as well. So that's a great night, highlighting some pretty outstanding retired educators, a couple of parents who went above and beyond for the community. So I very much look forward to that. If it's okay with you, I'm going to save you for last, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Martin for her update, and then Ms. Scalaro for her update. Because I don't think they have slideshows.
Mine's very short. We've just covered 3 this time.
Well, great. Great.
We had our last Educator Institute for our new hires on May 15th, so they were able to reflect on the year. They actually, every year we have them give advice to next year's new hires so that we can show them the slides on their first day next year. And then they turned in any documentation that they would need for licensure. So that last one was a couple of weeks ago. Today and tomorrow, our senior interns are doing their presentations at the high school, and then the celebration is this Thursday from 5 to 7 at Marshfield High School. So there's always a good turnout. The kids do amazing presentations, and it's awesome to just go around and talk to them and hear about their experiences at different organizations throughout the community. And then our last learning walk for this school year is actually this week. We're looking at early childhood at both the Early Education Center and Daniel Webster School, so that will be our final learning walk of the year.
We had the CPAC on the agenda tonight, so I don't have many updates beyond that. But I do want to just take an opportunity to say, they truly are an exceptional group, and they are working so hard to build the engagement. And so anyone who wants to get involved, they're so welcoming. I tell them every time I talk to them how wonderful they are, and it was really nice tonight to see them recognized by all of you and the audience just for how hard they're working to make that group come together and grow. So thank you.
All right, Mr. Zaski, can you turn on these on?
Well, we'll go really quick.
I'm going to take Tom's schedule. I don't think it's
So just a couple of updates. But before I get into this, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we have our Marshfield High School internship program, which Vice Chair Braid runs, and it has, I think, 30 or so students. They've been presenting their year-long initiatives they've done today, and they do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to go and see that. That'll be wonderful. So that's nice. That's been excellent, and I'm excited to do that. So, as was mentioned in the student rep presentation, we had our last day for seniors, but you should understand what an event that is. It was so, I mean, again, this is a bunch of firsts for me, or it's like, remembering how wonderful these things are. And this was great. Not only was the parking lot, when I walked in, I saw all the families decorating the cars of the kids who are graduating. The pride was just coming off of them. It was great. Parking lot looked wonderful. And they have a massive tradition that started back years ago where the telecommunications run by Brian Scotia, as known as Shaq, and his team, they basically all night edit it. It's become a real prideful thing for them to do that, and then they show it right on the last hour of school on the last day. So that was great, and it really got the whole crowd into it because everybody was there. So that was just a nice event. And there's some more pictures of you can see the pictures of the parking lot and the kids being clapped out, and it's just one of the things that probably is the most sort of thing I think this greatest thing about Marshfield is the connection between the staff and the kids. And you can see that so clearly at Marshfield High School. The kids came out crying and went right to embrace and high-five the teachers, so it was great. And here's just some of the things that are happening. You can see our senior exams are coming to an end. Wonderful senior banquet coming up on the 3rd. Graduation practice on the 4th. Have a wonderful scholarship and awards night where our graduates are provided thousands of dollars worth of scholarships from our very generous community. We have an amazing graduation planned on the 7th, and I think Marshfield High School graduations are special because they're so student-centered, and I'm so excited to see that again and be a part of it. And then we have our grad night live on the 7th as well that evening, so that's always a real celebration. Speaking of celebrations, we had some great Memorial Day celebrations, one of which was right here on stage. That's at Martinson, and we had, this is one as at Governor Winslow, but every school did something just a little different to honor our very worthwhile veterans who sacrificed so much. We also celebrated the arts. We've been celebrating it for the last month, really, in different ways. It's been very impressive. That is a picture on the left-hand corner. My son happened to be on that, so I was taking all kinds of pictures. But at the North River Arts Center, our art was on display all over it in North Marshfield. This weekend, our Marshallers performed, our band performed, our jazz bands performed. Every school is doing a spring art show, some of which are to come. Last week was Daniel Webster's, And we had wonderful concerts from our middle school, and then we had a beautiful evening, Marshfield Pops, 2 weekends ago, which was fantastic. Our sports are nearing tournament. I believe the tournament pairings come up tomorrow. Many of our teams will be involved in postseason play. Very successful year. We'll get into that at a future date, but there's just some pictures of some of the teams. And we had our junior prom. If you remember, our last meeting was just before the prom, but that was a lovely event. I had forgotten how wonderful our red carpet was. Just really special to see our students and the community celebrating them in such a positive way. And look at how happy they are. And they look fantastic, so it's a great thing too. So it's tough to remember back to my prom. And as Lauren had talked about, our district-wide belonging team met with the LPAC on the 19th. We did get some voice from them that will continue. Our LPAC has been great. That parent advisory committee for that group has been wonderful. We formed a draft of our team mission, vision, and theory of action. Our mission is we are a dedicated, diverse community committed to fostering a safe, inclusive, and respectful environment where all students, staff, and families feel valued, welcomed, feel welcomed, supported, and valued. And our vision is we're going to lead with empathy, recognize perspectives, overcome challenges, and honor diversity. And the theory of action, when we lead with empathy, recognize perspectives, overcome challenges, and honor diversity, we will cultivate a culture of belonging where every individual feels valued and all students are empowered. So that's, in a nutshell, where we are right now with our mission, vision, and theory of action for belonging. And then you stole my thunder on the Wall of Honor. But I will say, I know this group so well. Mr. Devitt was my first principal, kindergarten, first and second grade when I was at South River, which was amazing. And he taught me so much there. That was great. Miss Evans, I worked alongside with, and of course, Janet Gibson and Betsy Hoy, who had me as the Willy Wonka out greeting the kids when I was a young teacher, when they started that, Grad Night Live. I worked with Laurie Higgins. She is, really taught me about how to shoot for the sky. The sky's the limit with her in terms of what kids can achieve. And then Sarah Prouty, who's one of the better principals I've ever worked alongside. So special group, really special group.
I think, Ms. Wazorski, I think we might need to get Dr. Sullivan in that Willy Wonka costume. Not the theme, we're not going to tell you the theme.
I don't think I'll fit into that costume.
I have another idea. Okay.
Anyway, just some updates. I think that's it, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. It wasn't too bad.
Great. Awesome. I have two other quick things, if that's okay before we make a motion to adjourn. Two other very quick things. Thank you very much, Dr. Sullivan. And thank you, Ms. Pazerski, for turning that off. First of all, Grad Night Live, which I'm one of the co-chairs of, and that Mrs. Pazerski has been very involved with for a very long time as a member of our steering committee as well. We have the lowest amount of chaperones that we've ever had at this point for at least the last 10 to 15 years. So please, talking to the camera now, please, if you are available, sign up for Grad Night Live to chaperone. We desperately need folks to come and help us out. We can't put that event on if we don't have enough chaperones. We need 100 chaperones signed up for that night, and as of today, we had just over 50. So we're halfway there, and we have less than 2 weeks to go. So please consider volunteering. You can hang out with me and Mrs. Pazerski all night. I know Mrs. Dargan is always there. I know Mrs. Stetson's done it, and Mr. Greer will be dealing blackjack in the casino, as he always is.
So fast. If you're afraid about staying up all night, it goes by so fast.
And it's a blast, right?
It's a blast. You don't even feel it until like Wednesday.
You've done it you've done it for like the last 5 years, right?
So last year I couldn't do it because I had a senior, but I did
Right.
the cleanup the next day.
Yep.
And that is like a well-oiled machine. It goes so fast.
Yes. So if you have a senior, please come help with cleanup.
Yes.
Because
So
that
that's
would be
easy one
much
for the
needed.
seniors. Yeah.
And setup. Yes, we definitely need folks for setup as well. So I think we needed 20-something people to sign up for setup, and last I checked, we had 4. So, yes, so we are in need of some help. So if folks could please spread the word on that. Mr. Raymond, if you know of any teachers who might want to help us out, we would love some help.
No problem.
The other thing I want to say, just very quickly, and you jogged my memory with your Memorial Day slide. I think I do this every year, but I just want to say, Mr. Greer, thank you for your service. We appreciate that. And thank you to everybody who served and Thank you to our students who help make the Memorial Day exercises in Marshfield special every single year. That being said, is there a motion to adjourn? So moved from Ms. Stetson. Is there a second?
Yes.
Second from Mrs. Dargan. We'll take a roll call there, Mrs. Mazurski.
Yes.
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 Thank you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night at Wall of Honor, and then we'll see you on June 2nd for the next special town meeting. Students can do the setup as long as they're not.